I'm excited for them. You know, it never gets old, no matter how many NCAA tournaments that you've been a part of. But knowing that those guys have never been to an open practice, have never gotten a police escort, have never been, you know, a part of March Madness, and seeing them experience the selection show for the very first time. I mean, it's what they came to Xavier for, and it's a thrill as a coach to watch those guys and see how excited they get.
Have your emotions changed over the years?
No, I mean, I'm like a kid in a candy store every time our name gets called.
Chris, what was it like in those last minutes as you were waiting for the name to be called? And it just, not only is it the very end of the bracket, but they had a long pause before they said Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it wasn't fun, I can tell you that. You know, about maybe halfway through the first region, Mario, who was behind me, said, hey, the brackets have been leaked. And I said, I don't want to know. You know, and then I turned to him later, maybe a region later, and said, hey, are we in? And he said, yeah. And then about 3 minutes later, he found out that was a fake leak. So then I'm thinking, I guess it was Jerry Palms that was leaked and acted like it was the real thing. So, you know, I'm sort of now, okay, there's a region left, you know, the West comes up and all those teams start showing up. And I get a little nervous, you know, because you're not guaranteed anything, especially when you're, you know, not a high seed.
I think that Jerry actually had Xavier in his first 4 game, too. Did you know that at that point?
No, I didn't. I told him I don't want to know anything, you know, because last year, to be honest, you know, I found out before it was up on the screen. So once they said it was leaked and it wasn't, I didn't know that. I just put my phone down and, you know, ignored all the vibrations.
What are your impressions of facing Maryland in the first game?
I mean, with all due respect, I don't know anything about Maryland. You know, I bunker down and worry about our Big East opponents. You know, if I watch other teams, it's usually casually on in the background while I'm, you know, watching Seton Hall, Butler, Creighton tape, stuff like that. So obviously, you know, they've got Melo Trimble, who's been a sensational player for them, you know, over the last few years. You know, there are a couple kids that we recruited, you know, Kevin Herter and the kid Anthony Cowan. You know, we recruited both those guys. So Mark's got a really good team. You know, they were second in the Big Ten. You know, we got some really talented players, and I think they exceeded expectations, you know, based on who they lost a year ago. They've had a phenomenal year. But in terms of, like, their style of play, what kind of years those guys have had, I really don't know. I mean, it's only about an hour since the brackets have been released. So that's what we'll use the next couple of days for, to really prepare our team as best we can.
Do you like what you saw Big East turn? Do you feel like, you know, it might kickstart you now and get things going again?
No, I mean, I think we competed. I mean, that's what, you know, we aimed to do when we left before the tournament. I thought our first half against DePaul was nerves. We didn't play very well, but I thought we sort of calmed down the second half. And, you know, from that point on, whether it was the Butler game, the Creighton game, and both those games could have gone either way, but we were also playing two, you know, very, very good teams. And so, you know, I'm proud of our group for continuing to play, continuing to get better, to compete the way they did. And it was a fun group to coach over the weekend.
7 teams got in from the league, Chris. Are you happy? I mean, given that you've been, you know, spent the better part of the last couple months focusing exclusively on the Big East, you happy to see the way things broke for the league?
I mean, I would just say I'm not surprised. I mean, you know, I'm happy because one team got called. I'll just be very honest. I worry about us, but we know that the league that we've been competing in is very, very difficult, and the teams are very good. They're very well coached, and I mean, to have 70% of your league in the NCAA tournament is really, really impressive. You know, I think it speaks to what a lot of these teams did in the non-conference, and then obviously we knocked each other off during conference play. But, you know, I just think it speaks to Val Ackerman and what her vision was when the Big East was created. But it's a great day for our league for sure.
What was your message to the guys back at your place?
You know, it really doesn't matter what the number is in front of your team name, just like it didn't last year when we played Wisconsin, just like it didn't for Syracuse when they made the Final Four. So we just have to be better than Maryland, which is easier said than done, on Thursday. And, you know, all the prognosticators and predictions of how the tournament's going to go, all that stuff is meaningless once the games, you know, start getting played. And so we just have to be at our best for the next 3 days. We have to work to improve, build on what we did at the Big East tournament and become a better team, and go down to Orlando with the intention of finishing the season much differently than we did a year ago.
And how does that conversation play out when it's at your place? Like, do you kick everyone else out of the room and make it more formal, or do you try to keep it light?
No, I'd say most of the people that were in the house are family. You know, so you know, I bring the players over to a certain, you know, part of the basement, and I'm sure some other people can, you know, listen in, but they're part of the Xavier family. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the house in the first place.
Is it, do you breathe a sigh of relief in any way to geographically be in a place that's easy to get to, and the guys have been there before this year, and you're not going to California?
Well, I'm glad we're not going to California. You know, it's difficult, time change and all that stuff. So, you know, it's nice. We're in a location that we've been before, not for the NCAA tournament, but you know, it's same time zone. So, you know, we're happy with our location, and you know, a lot of times it's just sort of, if you're not seeded 1 through 4, it's just a crapshoot. And so, you know, we're very fortunate to not have to worry about a time change.